Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's once again time for the Captain's Table. The last 2 weeks have surely flown by, and the last week in World of Warships has just been god-awful for me. Now I've managed to put out good damage numbers, but I've just been running into the problem of having terrible teams. In fact, in one battle, I managed to do something like just shy of 1900 base XP on a loss, putting me second for overall XP earned in the match. And I knew that it was going to be a loss at about 6 or 7 minutes before the end of the match. But I didn't give up. I didn't stop playing like a lot of people do. I just knew it was going to be lost, so I endeavored to do as much damage and cause as much problems as I could. I'm not going to let the enemy have an easy win there. But the last week, just absolutely terrible teams. And I was kind of wondering why. Why so many bad teams? And it's not just that they're like bad teams in the respect that they play terribly. I mean, there's certainly always going to be those players. It was that there was no communication. People were playing, I mean, I've seen bots be more effective. And I couldn't figure out what was going on until finally it hit me. Last week was the last week in March. This current week, first week in April. It's spring break for like 90% of the US schools. And suddenly it makes sense. It's like summer gaming on warships with all of the spuds, only it's the preview version here in March and April. And I know that there are players who are probably thinking, why are you complaining about this, Captain? I mean, just leave him be. Well, it's fine if you want to come in and just sit back, relax, play a cool warship, and, try and shoot things. That's great. They have a game mode for you. It's called co-op. You should go play in that game mode. If you're going to go into random battles, I kind of would like to have you at least pay attention to, other ships. Not everybody on your team is a spud, or a scrub, or a potato, or a tomato. Not everyone is a mediocre player. Some of us are actually really good. And we're not lone wolf players. If you've ever watched any of my live stream, if you've ever watched any of my YouTube videos with World of Warships, I will flag targets. I will call them. I need you to shoot this guy. I need you to shoot this guy. I need you to shoot this guy. Or, hey, pay attention to this guy over here. And nobody, except maybe one or two other players who play the game more regularly, even pay attention to those targets getting called out. I've watched a battleship this last week who was shooting high explosive at a broadside cruiser at 15 kilometers. And he wasn't even hitting him because he was behind a mountain while trying to do it. He came in bottom of the team in that matchup, and I was bottom tier, and I came in top of the team. It was still a loss, but perhaps you should consider your decisions if that ends up being the case. But I've seen a lot of players who, they just don't pay attention. They don't pay attention to the destroyer that's closing in on them. Instead, they get tunnel vision, focused in on slugging it out with that bow-on meta battleship at maximum range, leaving us destroyers to fend for ourselves against the cruiser that has radar that's now 10 kilometers from us. Oh, who is broadside on, by the way. Combine the spring break teams with the concerted effort and cooperation between the matchmaker and RNGesus, and I have been having a really difficult go of it this week. Oh my god, bottom tier in almost every match I played, and I couldn't land a citadel to save my life. If you catched my live stream, if you caught it here this last Sunday, I went out in the Alabama, I went out in the Scharnhorst, I went out in the New Mexico, and I couldn't land a citadel with the Alabama on a Leander at 6 kilometers from me. Only regular penetrations. Yeah, I did a lot of damage, but if I had landed a citadel, I'd have killed him, instead of landing 3 regular penetrations and leaving him with 4,000 HP. The New Mexico, same way. Only regular penetrations, ricochets, overpens. Scharnhorst, same thing, with 11-inch guns. Couldn't land a citadel on a broadside cruiser. It was just disgusting. And I constantly ended up bottom tier. I just got really very frustrated. So, of course, had to go, take a break, sit down, relax, come back a few hours later and be less aggravated by the whole situation. But I'm happy that the spring break week is almost over for most schools, so the servers will balance back out to their normal player base, and it would seem that both Matchmaker and RNGesus have decided that, okay, we've picked on poor old Cap enough this week. So there's that. Additionally to playing a lot of World of Warships, I'm starting to gear up for my local anime convention. If you're in the Pacific Northwest and you like anime, you've probably heard of this convention. It's the Northwest's largest anime and Japanese cultural convention for something like 20 years now. And that, of course, is Sakura-Con, which is pretty much always on Easter weekend. So I think this year that's the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th is when it's operating. I'll just check that. Yeah, 14th, 15th, and 16th. If you like anime and you're in the area, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's not a big convention, which means it's actually cheap to get into. I don't know what the will call at the door is, but it's not that expensive, and you get a 24-hour all-access pass. If you're over the age of 18, you can really, utilize that all-access pass. And the convention does run things 24 hours a day, not to mention all of the industry people have their various after parties, kind of like Wargaming has their after party with PAX, like they did with their Let's Battle tour last year, and they did with their gamer player-based dinner the year before that. So there are those after parties that you can attend, as well as stuff going on 24 hours a day. And I'm looking forward to being there yet again. This will be the 6th year that I have been one of the all-volunteer staff. Now, being all-volunteer staff, I don't get paid for this, but I do get to go and I get to spend time with my friends who, thanks to the nature of being fully employed, living in different parts of the city or different cities, does mean that this is one of the few times that I know I'm going to get to spend time with them. And I do enjoy doing this. Of course, I also have a particularly easy job, as I am specifically in the exhibition hall, where all of the vendors for all of the overpriced, cheap anime stuff and all of the extremely overpriced, beautiful anime stuff is available for sale. So in order to get myself geared up for this, I've been spending an increasingly larger chunk of my day catching up on or rewatching all of the older anime that I really like to enjoy. And, you know, I'll probably maybe see if I can get around to watching some of the stuff that's been on my back burner for a long time. It's just one of those things where I don't have time to sit there and read subtitles and devote attention to playing World of Warships, Armored Warfare, or other games, and read subtitles. Split distractions do not work out well. So, dropping back on the World of Warships gameplay just a little bit in order to get through this backlog of anime. And then, of course, what'll end up happening is I'll probably go show up for my shifts with my friends there in the hall, and I'll walk by the Funimation and Aniplex booths, and I will probably spot an anime or two that I didn't even know was out that looks interesting, and I'll just buy the Blu-ray on the spot, as well as looking for, I think there's 2 series that I'm looking to get on Blu-ray, just because I really like them, and I really want to have the Blu-ray quality so I can watch them on my nice big TV, and not on my, well, large computer monitor. So I'll be doing that. I think I'm planning on being there on the 14th and 15th. That's Friday and Saturday. From, well, the exhibitors hall, it opens on Friday at 10 a.m. So I'll be available if anybody is interested in meeting me after 10 a.m. in the exhibition hall, probably till like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I've asked them to schedule me early, since I'm going to be up anyway, trying to make sure that I get my YouTube content for Sunday and Monday recorded and put out and scheduled for you guys. So I'll be up early in the morning anyway, so I told them, hey, you know, the earlier the better. I don't want to be there later in the evening. I'm already going to be up for other things anyway. And then, of course, Sunday, I won't be there at all, which is a little bit of a break from tradition. Normally, I would just do 4 hours over all 4 days, the setup day, and then the 3, open days, and have a whole bunch of time in order to go to events and other things. But this year, my opinion of it is I really want to have Sunday wide open so that I have time to, hopefully do my live stream on the 16th, but also if there is something, closing ceremony that I want to do, I can go to it. And if there's something on Saturday night, and I can't remember, I think Saturday night is the night that my buddies and I will usually have our own little staff party where we tend to get kind of drunk and then go to the rave. It's not a rave. It's like a rave. Lots of glow sticks and loud music. And a lot of sweaty nerds. And in the past, I've done this, gotten home at like 1 in the morning, and then just wandered into the convention hall at 9 a.m. completely drained. Just not only hungover, but like I didn't sleep at all, because drunk sleep is not very good sleep. This year, I'm not doing that. This year, I'm going to, if I'm going to plan on hanging out with them in the evening, first, I'm going to try and leave earlier, and secondly, I'm not going to work on Sunday. I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen. I've learned my lessons, or so I like to think. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and that'll be fun. And I will, of course, make sure that I get my content out for you guys. And, well, who knows? I might even record some video of the convention, take some pictures. Obviously, there's going to be some epic cosplay going on there. So I'll try and get those pictures out, and hopefully get that up in another episode of the Captain's Stable. And as for the Captain's Stable, that's about it for the week. That's pretty much all I've been doing. I mean, World of Warships, anime, and then my regular job, which, to be fair, you honestly don't care about, because my regular job is just a way to pay rent until I become, you know, big and famous on YouTube. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you liked the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can like and follow me on Facebook. I will be posting pictures from the anime convention directly to that, as well as my regular Facebook, but I'll be posting them on my Captain Rye Facebook page. And then probably letting you know what the plan is for the live stream as well on that Sunday, whether or not I'm in the mood and mentally capable of actually doing it at that point. If you've got a World of Warships replay that you'd like to see on my channel, you can send it to my email. If you'd like to help support me in my channel, I encourage you to do so by visiting my Patreon page and becoming a supporter there. At this point, I'm kind of trying to save up money to maybe get a new graphics card, a 1070 or a 1080, depending on the pricing, which I think would, you know, make my games look even more stunning. In addition to helping support my channel, you guys will also gain access to my World of Warships replay files and screenshots from some of my better battles, those that do make the cut for YouTube, and some of those that are pretty epic but don't quite make that cut. Any support level will grant you access to those replay files. And if you'd, of course, like to watch me play World of Warships, Armored Warfare, and other games, or watch me do other projects live, you can do so by liking and following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.